There's an unwritten manual for a particular type of empath, and nobody ever hands it to you. I call it the Lone Wolf Empath Code. These are the practices you just know deep down in your bones. If you've ever felt completely drained by the world or just fundamentally misunderstood because you feel everything, these unspoken rules are probably the reason why. Now, just so we're on the same page, a lone wolf empath isn't just someone who likes being alone. This is an empath who is incredibly intuitive, fiercely independent, and yeah, mostly a loner. You're carving your own path. Your empathy, that ability to absorb everyone else's mood, isn't a curse, even though it definitely feels like one when you're stuck in a crowded room. It's your superpower. But learning to manage that lone wolf energy is the key to making life finally click. Society keeps screaming about connection and group belonging, but for you as an empath, solitude is where you actually thrive. These rules aren't in any textbook, but if you are one, you'll feel them instantly. The first rule of this unwritten code: silence is sacred. This isn't just about avoiding noise, it's a multi-tool. First, it's about privacy. Lone wolf empaths learn fast, sometimes too fast, that sharing your excitement, your big wins, or your new ideas can be disastrous. You tell someone your great news, and you can literally feel their jealousy or negativity drain your battery. It's like they reach in and just steal your spark. So you learn to keep your cards close. It's not secrecy, it's energetic self-defense. It's a boundary. It's like showing your amazing, fragile butterfly collection to a toddler. You just don't. You protect it. Silence is also your charging station. As an empath, your nervous system is basically on high alert 24/7. The world is loud, emotionally and physically. Silence is where you reboot, where you heal. It's where, as a deep thinker, you finally get to hear your own truth instead of the static from everyone else. And this spills into conversations. Empaths generally loathe small talk, right? It feels fake, like a waste of energy. The lone wolf empath understands that so much more is said in the pauses between the words. You're not listening to what they say, you're listening to their energy. The second rule is a big one. Trust in others begins with trusting yourself. Look, empaths get blindsided by betrayal, a lot. We see the good in people, we feel their potential, and then, ouch, it leaves a mark. But the lone wolf empath makes a crucial shift. You stop fearing betrayal because your trust is no longer a fragile thing you give to other people. It's rooted in yourself. You know that no matter what situation arises, no matter who walks in or out, you trust your own ability to handle it. You trust your gut. You know you've got your own back. This is that massive leap from being the wounded wolf stuck in those old hurts to the wise wolf. It's the difference between building your house on someone else's property versus building it on your own bedrock. Once you trust your own foundation, you become unstoppable. Here's the wild part. This is when you can even trust people who aren't trustworthy. Not because you believe they'll change, but because you trust yourself to see them clearly and act accordingly. Rule number 3 is simple. Freedom first. Freedom over conformity every single day. The lone wolf empath walks their own path. You're not guided by trends, what's hot on social media, or what your family expects. You're guided by your intuition, by what feeds your soul. This is where you learn the magic, 2-letter word, no. And you learn to say it without a 3-page essay of guilt and justification. Remember that toxic empathy phase, that people-pleasing, wounded wolf energy? That's over. You used to say yes to parties you knew would drain you just to be nice. Now you just say, I can't make it, and you don't feel a flicker of guilt. You stop rushing major life decisions, careers, relationships, just because society has some imaginary timeline. You know how awful it feels to be in a situation that isn't aligned with your energy. Maybe you choose a single, solitary life. Maybe you decide not to have kids or just one. You operate on your timeline. This freedom also means walking away from fake friendships. As an empath, those shallow, energy-draining connections are pure poison. You'd rather be alone than sit at a table and pretend. This leads straight to the fourth rule. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. This is a huge one for empaths. The world sees you alone and slaps a lonely sticker on you. But you know the truth. Solitude is where you thrive. It's not a punishment, it's a preference. Now, if you think you're a lone wolf, but you're constantly battling gut-wrenching loneliness, you might still be in that wounded phase. A true lone wolf empath's compassion isn't just for the whole planet, it's for themselves first and foremost. It's like the difference between an artist retreating to their studio to create, which is a source of strength, versus someone locking themselves in a room to hide, which is a coping mechanism. You actually enjoy your own company. You don't need external validation. Solitude is your source of strength. Okay, the final unspoken rule. This one is probably the most difficult to accept. Deep connection is rare. And when I say rare, I mean winning the lottery rare. As an empath, you crave deep, meaningful connection. But the hard truth is, you might not ever find that perfect soul-mirroring connection in another person. And here's the aha moment. That's okay. Because the lone wolf empath learns that true connection is found in other things, but only after you've developed that unbreakable connection with yourself. You are already whole. You stop seeking love because seeking it implies you don't already have it. Your true power is the love you have for yourself. Not a narcissistic look-at-me love, but a deep, compassionate, wholesome love for all of humanity, which includes you. It's like a lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't run around the ocean trying to find ships. It just stands, shines its own light, and is. When you cultivate that connection within, it emanates an energy. You vibrate at a higher frequency. This is what it means to be a conscious human. And yes, I'll say it, this is what it means to know you are part of the same energy as the universe. Deep connections are rare because we're not all on the same vibrational timeline. And the ultimate power is this. The lone wolf empath doesn't need to be understood by everyone. You only have a need to understand yourself. And that right there is the entire code. So, which of these unwritten rules made you nod and say, "Yep, that's me"? Lone wolves might walk alone, but we definitely recognize each other when we cross paths.